Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you guys a get ready with me. Now this is the final look, okay? Whoa, hi. To all who ghosted me from Mooncat, it is a purpley gray base with a beautiful blue shimmer in it, and I absolutely love this. It's been on my nails for like 4 or 5 days now, and I'm going to change it out tonight, but I've really enjoyed it. All right, you guys, with that being said, let's get into the get ready with me. Don't be scared in the cut because I have no makeup on. So I thought I would do this get ready with me, talk a little bit about my channel and my concerns that I have. I also want to talk a little bit about our cat Oscar that he really did adopt us, and we love him very much. He's your typical male cat, and he was very street. He was a feral cat, and we'll get into that. But right now he's limping. We don't know what happened. He just came home in the evening one night he's an indoor-outdoor cat because he's feral. We let him outside and we have no issues with that. He came home and he was limping. His front right paw is not bleeding, but it's tender. Something went on, like whether he climbed a tree to chase a squirrel or fell down something a bit too far, maybe fell off of a tree. We're not sure. He doesn't have any like cuts on him. We've seen him through a fight already. That was a vet bill, but right now he's limping, but he's fine. His attitude has gotten better. He's eating like a fiend, like he loves food. That's the status of him at the moment. You guys probably want to know why or how he adopted us. Oscar, our cat. First of all, I will say the reason why we named him Oscar is when he first came to us, he was a grouchy little thing. But there's a reason. The poor thing has been a feral cat, hasn't had a home, no one to love him. It's likely because he does have a tattoo. We did see that he had a tattoo in his ear, and I'll explain a little bit more with that afterwards. It's highly likely that he was a feral that in another community they did a catch release. So they caught a bunch of kittens, probably barn cats, fixed them. He was just so grouchy. We called him Oscar the Grouch just because of his attitude. It took a long time for him to warm up to us. Prior to me actually seeing him, because I am home a lot right now, and I have been for a few months, there were some subtle hints that afterwards were like, oh, that must have been Oscar. And we had a flower bed out in front of our house, which was decrepit and falling apart. We were going to get rid of it in the springtime because we're going back to November of 2023 when I talk right now. When I tell you guys this little story, we noticed that there was a dip. Like the plants are long dead, but there was like a dip in the dirt. It was super odd. It was just this perfect little dip. It had to have been done by an animal of some kind, but we have so many animals around us. And then I would come home from the gym. Again, it's November, so it's starting to cool off where I'm from. Within 10 minutes of me coming home from the gym, I would have a shower, come out of the shower, and then there was this orange cat on the hood of my car. Obviously because it was sunny out and the car was warm from me driving from the gym. So that was kind of cute. I looked at him from inside the house. I don't mind. I don't care at all. It's just a cat, like I just assumed it was someone else's cat. But after a while, this kept on happening. And then we'd also see him on top of our trash cans or our green bin, which is super cute, which his name Oscar definitely fits for more than one reason. He was a grouch, but he also was on top of our bins too. So that was kind of cute and funny at the same time. So after about 2 weeks of this, like he knew I saw him and, I obviously now know him. I've really just been seeing him on the car and on the garbage cans for the most part. But he would never let me get close to him. Like I'd open the door and as soon as he heard the door open, he would just take off, which I totally understand. But after a while, I think I got home and I just left the door open. It was I live on a very mild area of Vancouver Island, Canada. It doesn't get super cold, generally speaking. So in this time of November, it was actually really, really nice out. He finally just slowly came up to the door and he let himself in. And I'm fine with that. Like, I'm not going to trap the cat. If he wants in, he looked like he needed food. He was always very, very skinny. You could see it in his body. His hip bones really do stick out. And he's a beautiful cat, but he definitely struggles to keep weight on. At this point, I didn't know if he was feral or someone's cat because I could see that he had a tattoo in his ear, but that's all I could see. So slowly but surely, he came into the house and I didn't have cat food. So I opened a can of tuna, and when I say I knew then and there that cat needed help, he needed help because not only was I really able to see his body closer up in our house in the kitchen, the door was open too, and never closed the door on him. He could leave anytime, and he normally would stay for 10 minutes and then out the door he went. He'd eat, but he would eat like there was never going to be a refill. And that again kind of leads me to the fact that I'm like more and more, I'm like, he's a street cat. Like he's feral. He probably hasn't seen a lot of food or knows that food will just be plentiful you know, he's always having to hunt for it. It was about 2 weeks of that, and he slowly got a little bit more comfortable with us. Of course, he'd stay a little longer, and then he realized the food was going to be around. And we have this dining room table with a bunch of chairs on it, and this is coming up to the holidays. I decorate for the holidays. I don't have a picture of it, but just picture this big long rectangular table with a tablecloth over it that does overhang it. So the tablecloth kind of almost touches the chairs on all 8 chairs that I have along the table. After a meal, but still leery of myself and Nelson, he would just jump on one of those chairs and just clean himself and fall asleep for maybe a half an hour. And just kind of grew from there. He started staying in the house longer and longer and longer. Loved laying on top of the couch overlooking the windows outside, like having a view outside, because we have deer, bunny rabbits, squirrels, quail, about 10,000 types of birds. He gets to look outside and he gets to watch and enjoy in the comforts of our home, because it's starting to get cooler out now. We did actually have a pretty cool month of December. He was very happy. So he would stay in, and then I started going to the gym, letting him stay in while I was gone. I wanted to trust him. I wanted to see what he would do. He was fine. It just got more and more and more. And like, there's a spot in front of our fireplace that we made for him. Like, I got him a cat bed, because at this point it's like almost Christmas time, I think. I got him that cat bed, not necessarily for Christmas, because we thought, well, maybe he's someone's cat. We still don't know anything about this cat because he has a tattoo. We were kind of hoping he would go and find us home again. The longer he hung out with us and stayed within our home, the longer we knew that he probably didn't have a home. Though there's a private school not very far away from us physically. I understand that they have a lot of feral cats on their property to keep the mice out, the rats, and so on. It's very likely that maybe they purchased or adopted a bunch of these cats to basically maintain their grounds of pests like rats and mice, but I cannot confirm that. So anywho, Christmas comes and goes. Nelson and I go on a vacation. Our neighbors look after him for the week, but he was in and out most of the time while we were gone. Our neighbors did say that, you know, he didn't stay in very long. He kept on looking for us and we weren't there. He never was gone long, like a couple hours, come back in. Okay, so we come back from that trip and now we're solid. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. We had a mobile veterinary service come to our house because he is feral. He didn't like being picked up. So how am I supposed to get him into a cat carrier and take him to a veterinarian office? So anyway, we had a mobile vet clinician come to our home and try to do as much as they could. Now, at this point, he also injured himself the first time. One of his dew claw, I think it's called. He might have gotten into a fight. There's a few other cuts. Like, this is, like I said, he's a fighter. We had the veterinary service come and check on him just to sort of see. And we wanted him to be weighed because we knew he was really skinny, but he'd been eating a ton of food. Oh, but he hasn't been gaining a lot of weight. They were unable to tell us anything about the tattoo or the fact that his ear was snipped. That same ear that was tattooed, it showed a snip. Now, at first we just thought maybe because of his nature he got attacked, as per usual. I will tell you later on that that's not the case. So they checked up on him. They weren't able to do a lot because he was actually much better. I warned them before they came about him being feral and like we can't pick him up. They were really good about it. They were able right away to weigh him. He was just over 4 pounds, which is very small. He should be probably 7 or 8 pounds. Like I said, he's quite skinny. Anyway, but they're like, that's okay as long as he's eating. If he's eating, that's great. Fast forward another month, about early, I think it was like the March 2nd or something like that. It was really early in March. I decided to go and take a picture of his tattoo, go to a local veterinary clinic. They were great. And I walked in and the ladies there were wonderful. They were very, very helpful. And I say that because they didn't have to. This is a hospital, like an animal hospital. And here I am coming in with a picture of a tattoo, give him a little bit of a story about how he adopted us, you know, just trying to find out, does he belong to somebody? Because at this point now, it's like almost 3.5 months, almost 4 months fully that he has been in our home and we've been sort of taking care of this cat. But in order for us to take full responsibility, I wanted to make sure that he isn't attached to somebody. Like, does that tattoo say where he belongs or what community he's from? Well, we knew he's a bit older too because of the way his jumping skills might have also been malnutrition, but his jumping skills were mediocre at best. He's definitely gray in the face, like more so, like, I mean, he's an orange tabby cat. We figured the fact that he had a tattoo over, it's likely he didn't have both. It's either a tattoo or a chip. So like the fact that he had a tattoo led us to believe he was probably a bit older. They took the time to look looked some things up for me to help me out, knowing my situation. The tattoo, the last letter at the end of his tattoo gave away his age, or at least the year that he was tattooed. That number stated he was tattooed some point in 2012, which makes him probably 12 years old. It's very likely that he was tattooed when he was a kitten. They tried contacting the other set of numbers that they had. I think it's the first 2 letters dictate where the tattoo is from. So they did again, phenomenal job. They looked at this little book and it told them where where he should have been tattooed from or at, and it was Taber, Alberta, which, if you're not familiar, I'm in British Columbia. I'm on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, so like the most west you can be. This cat is from the province over, and our country is huge, so it's a long ways away. It's not likely he walked here on his own at all. 2 veterinary clinics in Taber, Alberta, because it's quite small. So they called the first one and they were of absolutely no help. The lady on the other end of the phone, she said to me, she's like, she was of no help. I told her the story, asked her about looking up this tattoo number for us, and the lady said, we don't deal with tattoos anymore. We only do chips, and we haven't kept track of tattoos in years. Then they called the other veterinary clinic in town, but it had closed. So then the gal says to me, the gal who did all this research for me, which was absolutely amazing. She looked at me, she's like, I think he was a feral cat, and I showed her a picture of him. She's like, that cut in his ear you think is a cut is likely a purposely snipped cat, so that from afar, SPCA or whoever's out there trying to catch release, they know they've already caught this cat and he's already been tattooed and he's already been fixed. So from afar, they don't have to get close to see the tattoo. And sometimes a lot of times with feral cats, you can't get close. They will run away. That made me feel better. Still questioning what the heck. Still kind of have an idea now how old he is. It does make sense that he's likely about 12 years old. So I come home and I tell Nelson all about this. And so what we decided to do is take full responsibility for this cat. Now, because we've already looked up to see, obviously, does this cat have a family? Where is he from? We're not finding any information about him anywhere. No one's able to give that to us. We decided to take full responsibility. That meant like anything that happens to him, we will take care of it. I mean, we did have a mobile vet come, but he got injured and we felt bad. He had us within the first week. I think he knew that too. As cats do. Cats are so freaking smart. They are the best salesmen ever. They don't have to do anything, yet they get all the benefits. That's a cat. And he just loves snuggling up. He loves the fire. He literally, when I would put the fire on, because we have a wood fire stove, like a wood stove, and he would just love, his bed is like really right up against the fireplace, and not up against, so he's back about 5 feet, I think. He just loves it because to him that's his sunshine, right? Even though there's no sun. He has been with us ever since, and he's been so hilarious. He has allowed us now, we can pick him up, not for long. We can't touch his back legs. Again, I think that because of his age, he has arthritis, it's likely, and so like pain, or just the fact that, he just doesn't want anyone to touch his legs. I totally understand. We don't try to do that. As we've been testing it out, like I am all about the psychology of slowly pushing my limits to see how far I can get. I can hold him now over my shoulder in a certain way to the point where I have to put him down. As long as you're standing up, walking around, or just standing and just swaying, he loves it and he's purring away. Now with him though too, he attacks his tail so much, and it's almost gotten to the point where anytime he does it now, I'll look to see what the calendar says. For working with the RCMP and as a first responder, there is something to be said about the full moon. Anytime there's a full moon, the crazies come out. Our file load at the RCMP was always high. Stupid things and stupid people will always come out during the full moon. So as a first responder, as a firefighter back in the day, I saw that. And this cat, he does it quite often, but more so during the full moon periods. And that's where he just gets to the point where he's attacking his tail and it sounds like he's killing somebody or something. And I don't understand. Neither of us can figure it out. We don't know if it's because of malnutrition, a psychological thing, no clue. That could happen in the middle of the night. I got him another bed to put at the end of our bed because I have a dresser at the end of our bed, and that's his bed. He loves it. It's like a little half cocoon cave thing. He absolutely loves that. Also, like, it's his space. So he'll come and start with us on the bed and then he'll work his way over to his own space, which is quite nice. Now, when he had that injury, not the one he has currently, but the injury he had before, the dew claw injury. I had to book an appointment for him to go into a veterinary's office. Now, with that being said, we did purchase a cat carrier. And then when we had the mobile veterinary clinician come in, they gave us enough for 2 doses of each. There's 2 different things to sedate him or slightly intoxicate him a bit if we ever had to go to a vet, and it turns out we did. That was traumatizing for me. I was so stressed because, of course, Nelson's at work. I'm at home and I'm like, how am I going to get this cat who doesn't like to be picked up, doesn't like to do anything it doesn't want to do himself, and does attack. Like, I have cuts on me. Periodically he would like attack us and cut us, and it happens. Like, he's still trying to build up trust. So anyway, that was stressful, but I managed to get that in him within 5 seconds. I'm an organized person. I thought it through, knowing the cat. I also did some Google searching on how to hold down a cat while you inject, not inject per se, but put the syringe juice into his mouth of ×2. Anyway, that was fun. But we did take him to the vet. Now, the vet's office did state that he was really underweight. Like, I think right now it says 4.3 pounds, I think it says. That's quite low, and yet he's eating really well. So we will likely be taking him to the vet again in the next month or so, probably maybe by the time you see this video or just shortly after. Oh, I will say too, when I took him to that appointment, they weren't not the whole reason why I wanted to go to that appointment was to check that dew claw out, right? So he was actually really good with me in the main room that I was with, the veterinarian and him and myself, and he was doing really, really well. I have to hand it to that cat. He did really, really well. Mind you, he was doped up. She really wanted to take a look at his claw, and she wanted to take him to the back room where a veterinary an assistant, like a vet assistant, would help her out. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever you gotta do. Like, I obviously I am here for this particular reason, so it'd be nice to know what we can do. While I'm out in the waiting room, I'm hearing some giggling, I'm hearing some whoa, and like not too much else other than that. But I don't know if it's him, I don't know if it's some other animal. I mean, it's a big office, there's lots going on. Fast forward about 5 minutes. The clinician comes out, the vet tech, I guess, and also the clinician. The vet tech comes out with the cat and the cat carrier, and so I take him into the room that I was previously with, that veterinarian. Then the veterinarian meets me there in the room, and she's like, well, both myself and the tech were okay. This cat is wild. I'm like, I warned everybody. I mean, like I said, I was just getting that stuff in his mouth was like traumatizing for me, but it ended up being good. I think he trusts me. He's like, we weren't able to really look at his paw, but we were able to give him a quick injection of some antibiotics, which would kill pretty much any infection that he may or may not have. And you know what? It worked out well. So again, fast forward now. So they told us he was underweight. In order for them to find out why he's so light in weight, and yet he's eating, because they're thinking maybe it's a thyroid thing, which very well could be, he is, aging, would be to come and have him come back to the vet's office again. But this time I would also sedate him, and then when I got there, he would have to be put under. So that's what we're going to be doing probably in the next month or so, I would say. The fact that I think that our house is Oscar's gig for retirement. He's now got his full pension. He's with us at the Harvey household. He's doing good. With that being said, no matter what, we will obviously take care of him for as long as we can, because he's such an adorable little kitty cat. I mean, as much as he stresses us out sometimes, attacks us sometimes, he gets into these moods where you're like, oh, the eyes are big. Oh, we're screwed. Someone's going to lose an arm. There's not much you can do about that part. He's a great cat and we love him very much. So yeah, that's the story of Oscar. I'm sure I left out some things. We obviously will keep an eye on his current injury, his limping. We both feel that either he fell out of a tree, because I did have to take him out of a tree one time before, and so that's very likely that happened, because that's just like him to do that. But he could have fallen down, or I don't know. Like, I'm not exactly sure. Like, he's just limping, like he maybe sprained his little front paw, but we're watching, and it only just happened a couple days ago. Likely by the time this goes up, like I said, it'll already be at the vet's office. Hey guys, just a quick update on this Oscar video because I did film that almost a month ago. The update is all positive. I did have to take the cat in for some blood work because we did really want to know why he was losing weight, whether it's a kidney issue or it was thyroid. And in order to do so, I had to drug him again, like I explained earlier in this video. Oh, fun. Fortunately, I had to leave him there all day just based on what they had to do. But once he got there, they were going to put him under. They have now deemed him, you must be sedated in order to have any kind of work done. So in order for them to draw blood, they needed to sedate him. So he was there for most of the day and I felt so bad. For child mom guilt here. When I did pick Oscar up after his blood drawn, and they basically did a whole one over because it's just easier to do when the cat is completely asleep. So not only did they check the tattoo, this is an interesting twist to the story. It's 12, it's, you know, it's kind of overgrown. There are some letters and numbers that are easier to read than others. And I was just kind of going with what I could see, and that's information I gave to the last vet office. They actually were able to look it up more clearly and found out he's actually from the valley in which I live in, not the town, but the valley. And they did confirm that it's likely he was a catch release program that they did. Came back like no one's ever taken him to the vet. He's not been given a name at this point. Now he's Oscar. So that was kind of interesting for us to know because at first we're like, Tabor, Alberta, that's a long ways. So anyway, that's cool. Secondly, they did a once over. So they patted from head to toe, paw to paw, all of that stuff. He came back as patches. I don't have pictures. I didn't want to take pictures of the poor thing. At least it's in the summertime. He came back very patchy. There was about 12 spots where the vets had to basically shave him down because there were wounds that they wanted to fix up that were newer, some old ones. They found a claw, another cat's claw in his body, which explains a lot. I mean, he is a fighter and we know he lost one of his dew claws, probably a different fight, but still insane. And I felt like when I picked Oscar up this time, the vet, which was the same vet tech as we had originally, I felt like she totally understood my story. I told her originally what had happened. He adopted us, but I mean, I'm sure they get these stories all the time. That, you know, who knows? But I think after she did some research on the cat himself, realized he has had a rough life. Now, the blood work came back a day or two after we brought him home. He's 12. He has one good kidney and one kidney that struggles a little bit. So really moist food is the best thing for him, which is great because he loves his tuna, like really nummy gravy like substance foods, which we do buy a very nice brand, but we do have to start buying one with a specific type of vitamin or something that will help his kidneys a little bit along the way. Teeth look good. Otherwise, he's great. He is underweight, as we all know. I'm really happy to say that when we brought him back from the vet's office this time, he had gained, I think, it's not very much, but 0.4 pounds, which I mean is pretty huge. Even today when I picked him up, I feel like he's gaining weight, which is crazy because normally I find cats lose weight in the summertime because they're outside gallivanting and hunting and doing all that. But he's definitely gained a little bit of weight, which is perfect. I really just want him to be happy, healthy, and we are so happy that he adopted us. So that's the update. All right, so let's talk about my channel and the reason why I wanted to bring this up. We're nearing 5,000 subscribers. Now, this video is being filmed a few weeks or probably 2 weeks before I'm posting, so I'm not sure where we'll be at the time it's actually posted. It's been a struggle to get to 5,000 subscribers, even with, as YouTube puts it, and any like media company you watch on YouTube says that consistency is key. I do it. I'm very consistent. I bend over backwards to be as consistent as possible. But that's just me in my lifestyle and who I am. I started my channel in July of 2015, and here we are almost July of 2024 and 5,000 subscribers. And so I will say that it's been kind of disheartening when my channel, which was half the size that it is now, used to bring in, especially because I was like a wax contact channel, 400 or 500 views within the 24 hours. And now I struggle to get 400 views over a week for wax content. I did put up a little survey on my community tabs page on YouTube asking, why is it you watch my channel? Is it for miscellaneous things like what we're doing now, which is few and far between, but also on Mondays, I do Mani Mondays. So I talk about anything to do with nails. Wednesdays, we always talk about wax and candles, anything that smells good. Fridays, it's always Fragrance Friday. So personal fragrance. I get more views on my Fragrance Friday videos, majority of my Mani Monday. The only time I get a tremendous amount of views reviews on any wax video at all are Bath & Body Works hauls. And I refuse to haul a whole bunch of candles and body care and anything like that just to get some views. It's great. I love haul videos too, but also as a person who does content, where does that all go? Do you actually burn it all? Like, I really took a step back from purchasing candles a while ago. I am back into the candle game, of course. Bath & Body Works just having their SAS. That's really great. And that's when I do stock up. But I refuse to be the person who goes out and gets it first. First of all, I don't live near a Bath & Body Works any longer. The closest one is about 40 minutes south of me. And then there's only one more on all of Vancouver Island, which is an hour and a half away from me north. I'm not close. I'm not going to drive and waste my money on fuel, because our fuel is very expensive where I live, to go get a candle or just to look. It's not my job. If this was my job, that would be a different story. But this is not my job. Just so you guys are aware, I make about, on average, $52 every month on YouTube. And they don't pay you out until you reach $100. So I get paid from YouTube just over $100 every 2 months. And sometimes, even though I'm still consistent and my views seem to be good and I have no idea what's going on with analytics, I will get paid every 3 months because it took me that long to hit the $100. I don't understand it. I truly don't understand the whole system. I refuse to do TikTok. I am never going to go on TikTok. Anyway, that's a whole other story for another day. I don't enjoy TikTok. I don't believe in TikTok. Let's put it that way. And I don't believe the people who do reviews on TikTok because it's too short of content. You do not get a full gamut of information coming forward to you about the product or products. It's just literally a slap in your face. We're lazy. Let's be fair. Most of us do not like to spend time. We want to get to the point, which is great. But are you actually getting what you want? Or are you getting sponsored posts or posts that are supposed to be not sponsored because nowhere on there does it say it's sponsored, that you find out later it's sponsored? That could very much happen. When it comes to my channel, I am still not sure. I mean, I love candles. I love wax melts and things like that. Other than Bath & Body Works hauls, the only other decently viewed videos are my monthly melting baskets, my empties. But melting baskets tend to be a little bit more viewed more. It's disheartening when it does take a lot of work to do these videos, a lot of time. And I mean, I love it. I wouldn't be still doing this if I didn't love doing this. This is my outlet. This is my happy place. This office, I created for myself a very cozy atmosphere for me, first of all, but also for you to watch and, enjoy as well. But also I'm frustrated that all the effort that I do. And even when I posted that poll on my community tabs page, over 60% of you said that you watch my videos for Wax Wednesday. That's pretty much everybody who actually put into that poll who watched the video. I don't know where all the other people have gone. And my local Walmart's, which is 20 minutes away, doesn't have any wax melt. It's pathetic. When I say they don't have anything, they have literally half a shelf and it's picked away and they're all the same scents that you've seen for probably 10 years. It's really hard to be in love with all of that when all I know people will watch are haul videos. What about review videos? What about, what I melted? When I give a review of a specific candle, I want people to want to watch. So I don't know. I don't know where this channel is going to go. I know I want to be as consistent as I can. Things may change down the road. There's a good chance in about 3 years I'll be living in the United States for probably 5 years. With that being said, then I can get Walmart wax from the US seasonally and it changes often. That'll be amazing. Shipping costs won't cost nearly as much if I'm living down in the States because the majority of the wax vendors are in the US, 95% of them. With that being said, you guys, I wanted just to share with you guys a little story about Oscar and Oscar the Grouch. We've now shortened it down to Oscar, of course. Watching my channel, sharing my video, subscribing, because I know, and I don't say this often, I've looked and over 70% of the people who watch my channel are not subscribed. I know that because I can see it. This is a video just to get ready, talk to you guys about what's going on, what's in my brain, our little kitty cat. I thought I would take this opportunity to talk a little bit about him. And yeah, that is everything, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. And again, be safe, take care, and have fun. Bye, guys.